Salespeople are often afraid of objections, thinking that they might slow down or even worse, jeopardize the sale, and they couldn't be further from reality. Because when a prospect raises an objection, that's actually a very good sign. But what is an objection? An objection sounds pretty much like, I think this is too expensive, I don't see why I should buy your product rather than your competitors, I don't think I need this. As scary as it might sound at first, the fact that they are elaborating a thought about your proposal and that they take the time to verbalize it, most of the time means that they have a level of interest that it's your duty to nurture and grow with your answers. If you've been in the same business for longer than, say, 6 months, you've surely noticed that, given the specific nature of your company and your industry, the objections you hear tend to be always the same. And this is great, because it means you can prepare your answers in advance, so you don't have to reinvent the wheel every time. Once you have identified most common objections your prospects are likely to raise, and once you've found a value proposition to answer them properly, I suggest you follow the following 6.5 steps to successfully overcome any objection. Step number 1, listen to the objection. Don't jump all over the prospect as soon as they say, but what if? Give them the time to express their opinion in full. In one word, listen until they have undoubtedly finished expressing themselves. Number 2, repeat the objection. When you're absolutely sure the prospect is done talking, repeat back what he or she just said to you. Something like, I see you're concerned about the price, or if I understand you well, you think this product won't help you achieve whatever they need to achieve. This both shows that you are genuinely interested to help and also gives the prospect the chance to clarify or rethink the objection. You will see that hearing the objection back will often put the prospect in a position to answer it on her own. From a psychological point of view, every time you repeat an objection, you metaphorically put yourself side by side with the prospect, rather than in an opposite position. Step number 3, use testimonials and past experiences. Don't avoid answering any part of the objection. In fact, objections are the perfect time to share testimonials. For example, I have another customer who was concerned about the fitting of this dress. And then she found out that not only the dress was very wearable, but also that it was very comfortable while wearing it during social occasions. Testimonials can be very powerful at any point in your sales presentation, but especially when a prospect presents an objection. And in today's economy that best-selling author Joseph Pine calls the experience economy, social proof is probably the most important sales tool you need. Step number 4, answer the objection. Once you understand the objection completely, you can finally answer it. When a customer raises an objection, they're actually expressing fear. Your task at this point is to relieve their fears. If you have specific examples, such as the story from an existing customer as just mentioned, or a few statistics, by all means present them, because hard facts make your response even stronger. Step number 5, check back with the prospect. Take a moment to confirm that you've answered the prospect's objection fully. Usually, this is as simple as saying, does that make sense? Or, have I answered your concern? Or, do you see what I'm talking about? Step number 6, redirect the conversation. Bring the prospect back into the flow of the initial conversation. If you're in the middle of your presentation when the prospect raises her objection, then once you've answered it, quickly summarize what you've been talking about before you move on. But if you've finished your pitch, just check if the prospect has any other objections and then start closing the sale. One last note, never argue with the prospect. Life is too short to argue with anyone, let alone clients.